Thanks for everybody coming out to the Why Stay panel series. This is our first TV show with TV20. I'd like to thank TV20 for definitely giving us a good shot. Kathy Allen, much love to you for giving us a chance with the Why Stay. Let me just introduce the Why Stay. The Why Stay is a panel series that me and a friend Don Mays started to keep young professionals here in Cuyahoga County. We did a little research and we saw a lot of young professionals were leaving, and we wanted to keep them here, so we decided to do panel discussions and different social events to keep them here. So that's what the Why Stay is. We have a conference coming up in October, so please check out the conference. You hear more about that as the panel goes on, and more panel discussions you see on a once-a-month basis. I'd like to thank all our sponsors. So T-Mobile, if you buy a T-Mobile store, grab a T-Mobile phone and give them a call. And Dave's Supermarket, or Dave's Market, that sponsor all the food, so all the chicken and stuff and the fruit that you all had. Did you all like it? It was good, so all right, so thanks for Dave's Supermarkets. When you buy Dave's, stop and get a fruit tray or whatever they have whenever you all get a chance. Today we have a very special guest, Terry Tarantino, the owner of La Strada and La Dolce Vita. Both of them are in Precious Pockets, what we consider Precious Pockets to be, are different areas for young professionals to hang out in Cuyahoga County, such as Ohio City, Tremont, East 4, Little Italy, places of that sort. So we brought a special person here today to talk about it. So give Terry Tarantino a round of applause, please. Just to give a quick breakdown of discussion and how everything will go, we'll ask Terry 6 questions. We'll let him talk a little bit about his restaurants, and we'll go from there. And after the 6 questions, we'll have about 15, 20 minutes of Q&A, so the crowd can ask him a few questions and see just how he feels about young professionals, where they should hang out, and a little more about his restaurants. So one more round of applause for Terry Tarantino, and we're going to get into the panel discussion. All right, so Terry, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, what made you stay in Cuyahoga County, and a little bit about your restaurant things you have going on.
Well, to get started, I was born in Little Italy and moved to East Cleveland when I was like 4 years old. Started elementary school in East Cleveland. Actually went to school called Chambers. And then from there, my family moved to Newburgh Heights, lived there a couple of years. And then from age 8 on, I lived in Garfield Heights. After I graduated from high school, I was 17 years old in Garfield Heights. I went on to Ohio State and got a degree in landscape design and horticulture from Ohio State University, which is a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. And my aspirations at that time were to be a landscape designer and follow in the footsteps of some of my successful relatives who were landscapers. And I really didn't want to go to school, but my mother kept telling me you have to go to college to make anything out of yourself. So I decided to do like in between. I liked working outside, I liked working with my hands, and I wanted to please my mother, so I got a degree at Ohio State. And when I got out of school, I started doing landscape design, and I had my own landscape company. I did that for about 12 years, and I had this like a bug in my head about opening a restaurant. I had some ideas about restaurants and cafes, and something that I never saw in Cleveland that I saw in other cities. I didn't start traveling. I think the first time I got on an airplane I was like 18 years old because I didn't want to take a bus to Washington, D.C. for 11 hours, so I got on an airplane at the last minute, you know, and I mean, it was like I love to fly, I love to travel. So that was a big part of my life. So I started traveling right away, and I started noticing that the people in Cleveland, when I first opened La Dolce Vita, which I was 30 years old, the people in Cleveland had no idea what the difference between cappuccino and espresso was. And it was crazy. I mean, that was 25 years ago. And this town was just, it was a big city, but it was a very ignorant big city in a lot of ways. And the sophistication level in this city was not too good. I spent a lot of time in San Francisco. I have an uncle that lives right near there. So I love San Francisco. I was in L.A. and I liked L.A. and I have relatives in Brooklyn, New York, so I went there. And I saw this country in a different way, but I still loved Cleveland. So my grandfather's friend owned this building in Little Italy. Most of my father's side is all from Little Italy. My mother's side is from Italy, and my mother's family settled in Kinsman area, actually. So there was two completely different frames of mind in my family. I had an Italian frame of mind and I had an Italian-American frame of mind. So I was raised with a little bit of both. But I loved Little Italy and I saw the potential in Little Italy. When I moved back there in 1980, I opened my landscape company. I bought a couple of houses in Little Italy and was operating my landscape company there. And probably about 1986, this building came for sale on the corner of Mayfield and Murray Hill. It was my grandfather's friend. And I bought the building with some people. And I had this idea. And I love the movie La Dolce Vita. If you've all never seen the movie, it's a very famous artistic movie by a director named Federico Fellini. And that's the La Dolce Vita means the sweet life. And to me, that's what Little Italy needed. That's what Cleveland needed, was a cafe called the Sweet Life. And that's what I want. I didn't want to have this complicated restaurant. I just wanted to have some pasta, some pizza, some salad, some soup, and cappuccino and espresso, which I thought very few people had. There was Arabica in Coventry, if you all remember. That was one of the first main coffee shops before Starbucks. BS, before Starbucks. Anyhow, Arabica kind of set a little bit of a trend, but it had just a tiny, small following, a cult following, a real coffee house following, and it was a pretty cool place. And Little Italy was still like Little Italy. If you all ever seen this movie, A Bronx Tale, it was Robert De Niro's debut movie as a director. It's a great movie, and it really depicts what our Little Italy was like and the mentality of our Little Italy in Cleveland. And I mean, all these people I knew for my whole life. That movie is very accurate, by the way, and one of the more accurate Italian-American movies. But that is a very accurate movie, and that's what our Little Italy was like when I first opened La Dolce Vita. I mean, I was selling coffee for $1 a cup, and people said, "What are you, crazy, man? You can get coffee across the street for 35 cents." You know, but I said, my coffee's fresh ground, you know, and they didn't understand the concept. So I slowly worked it out, and I kept pounding the pavement, and you know, a reviewer snuck into my restaurant, and boy, back then I didn't even have a liquor license. I was serving coffee and wine in coffee cups, but I was giving it away. I wasn't selling it. And you know, I mean, I had professors from Case that would say, "Could I have a coffee cup of wine, please?" And it was like a kind of a neighborhood joke until I got a liquor license. But I gave it away, and it started building my business. And my food concepts were a lot different than anybody in Cleveland was used to. Everybody was putting tomato sauce and cheese on pizza. I was spreading spinach and artichokes with feta cheese. I was making a pasta with a mushroom reduction sauce. Everybody was used to a red sauce with meat or a red sauce without meat. And I was kind of the anti-meatball restaurant. We didn't have meatballs in my restaurant for the first 15 years. Because there are no meatballs in Italy. If you all get a chance to get to Italy and ask for a meatball, they'll think you're crazy over there. But I was trying to do something from New York or something from Italy, not an Italian-American restaurant. I have masks from all over the world, you know, and everybody says, "Why do you have all those African masks on the wall?" I said, "Well, some are African, some are from the Philippines, some are from Turkey. They're from all over the world." And, you know, people kind of come in and they look at my decor and they don't get it. But it's funny, people that have been to Italy come in and go, "I was in a cafe in Italy that looked just like this."